The girl is planning a crime. Once caught, she would be sentenced to 200 years in prison. She sewed a piece of foil into her clothes, making a simple infrared-proof device. She then took out a homemade fingerprint replicator. During work hours, she arrived at the company wearing clothes with foil sewn inside. Today was a meeting hosted by the founder of the omniscient system. Nina kept her eyes fixed on the pen being held. Finally, Rick put the used pen on the table. Nina stared at it without blinking. The pen had the founder's clear fingerprints on it. The surveillance drone sensed something unusual. It began to approach and activate behavior analysis. It detected that her pupils were dilating, her body was sweating excessively, and her breathing was becoming rapid. This state suggested she might be about to do something illegal. She wiped her sweaty hands on her clothes. The drone watched her even more closely. It began monitoring her heart rate, and it moved closer to analyze. At that moment, Nina placed her hand on the table, staring at the drone while quickly making her move. Slipping the pen behind her clothes, the drone swiftly zoomed out. She was extremely nervous. The drone began analyzing Nina's hand. At this moment, the fingerprint replicator was working. The progress kept rising. It had already reached 50%. It switched to infrared mode for analysis, but its view was blocked by the foil. The fingerprint replication was completed. The drone did not detect any criminal activity. It returned to normal surveillance mode. She was thinking of a way to return the item to its original place.
Nina.
It turned out that the founder had just asked her opinion on the contract. She said she was a bit nervous facing the founder. Rick didn't care. The meeting continued. She glanced at the pen under her foot, wondering how to return it to its place. She looked at the pen holder on the table and had an idea. She placed her arm behind the pen holder and pretended to accidentally knock it to the ground. Everyone turned to look. She quickly apologized and took the opportunity to put the two pens back into the holder. The drone analyzed and detected no abnormal behavior. After work, she left the company. Suddenly, someone called her from behind. Nina nervously turned around slowly. It turned out they weren't calling her. Doing something bad really makes you sensitive. She pushed her bike and glanced at the surveillance drone nearby. Now in this city, where everyone is monitored by drones 24/7, she would do something out of control. The next day at work, she saw no one around. She took out the fingerprint replicator from her pocket. She placed it into the printing device. It finished printing in less than 10 seconds. Carefully, she put the fingerprint into a storage bag. During work hours, while no one was watching, she adjusted the angle of the screen and retrieved the building's layout. She finally found a way to deal with the drones. After work, she sneaked into the employee corridor. She climbed all the way to the roof of the company. Following the coordinates, she found the high-voltage electric box of the company. She picked up a stick and lifted the high-voltage wire to create a gap, just enough for her to slip through. The drone monitoring her experienced severe electromagnetic interference. In no time, the drone was disabled by the interference. A new drone was instantly activated. It began taking over the work of the previous one.